I'm going to talk a little bit today about web content management. What is web content management? If you've not used a web content management system, you probably want to know what it is. This is my favorite definition. It's actually an old definition from Wikipedia. The current definition that's up there is a little bit different. This is the one slide that I'll probably read verbatim here. A web content management system, WCMS or web CMS, is a content management system software usually implemented as a web application for creating and managing HTML content. It is used to manage and control a large dynamic collection of web material, HTML documents, and their associated images. A WCMS facilitates content creation, content control, editing, and many essential web maintenance functions. I think that last sentence is kind of the key thing. It's basically a tool that's going to help you manage your website, going to give you easier ways to edit your content, publish your content, create new content. It doesn't magically make your content better. Some people get that impression, oh, we have a web content management system, my website's going to be so much better. No, it's just a different tool for you to edit your content. There's a lot of different reasons. These are just a few things that we've kind of observed over the last few years as we've kind of been working on this project, preparing for it, doing our RFP, doing some research. A lack of web standards. And I don't mean to say this in a negative way to anybody who might fit into this role, but a lot of people responsible for managing websites are not web developers. They don't understand a lot of the technology behind it and the need for standards. And they do things like create a Word document and save as HTML. While visually that might look okay, there are a lot of problems that can be associated with that related to things like accessibility. And a tool like this is going to help us address some of that. Lack of UNM branding. That's been a big problem on a lot of sites over the years, and I'm at fault for that as well. It's departments not using the UNM colors, departments that don't have a UNM logo at all on their page. We've seen web pages and doing some research that the only way you could actually tell they're a UNM department is by the URL. It ends in .unm.edu. They don't have any mention of the University of New Mexico on their page. They talk about their department, but there's no content that really tells people that they're at the University of New Mexico. Accessibility requirements, that's something I kind of touched on already. We need to make sure all of our web content is accessible. And that doesn't necessarily mean just to visually impaired. It means to systems that read the content through software. But I think a lot of people look at visual accessibility as the main concern, and that addresses things like color contrast, using images to represent content, and how screen readers can't pick that up. Basic images, we have the alt tag. We need to ensure that every image we have has an alt tag behind it that describes what that image is. Addressing things like screen flicker that could potentially cause seizures in some people. That's an accessibility issue. Unmaintained content. This is something I discovered when I moved from IT to communications and marketing. I started cleaning up the main UNM website and getting rid of old content that's out there. And I found a file in 2009 that had been online since 1995 and had never been edited. And it showed up in Google search results. And it had information about the university that was completely out of date. So there's old stuff sitting out there that we need to clean up, and we need a better way of managing it. And the web content management allows us to do that with things like review dates set for content that we publish. So we can say this content needs to be reviewed every 6 months so that we know that it's up to date. It's going to ease content updates. You're going to have a very easy to use interface that you'll log into. You'll go to the page that you want to edit. You'll make your changes. You'll publish it. You're done. Again, it's web-based. You can do it from any computer that has a web browser. Standards compliant. We're going to publish standards compliant HTML that validates, which means it's readable by systems. It's better for accessibility. It's going to really enhance the structure of the website, and will also increase your search engine results. That's something we're not really going to talk much about in this presentation, but how you format your content and how you use headers in your title and things like that actually impact your search engine results. So by using the proper standards, using an H1 for your title, using proper H2s, using the actual title tag with the right values in there, those are going to help us get better results in search engines. Accessibility compliance. The tool is going to enforce some basic accessibility. It can't address everything, but it's going to do things like enforce that you put alt tags for your images, things like that. Unified visual identity. What that means is when we roll out the web content management system, we're rolling out a single template. There will be an exception process for that at some point, as defined by the Web Advisory Committee. That has not been done at this point. But the initial sites that we move into the web content management system will use the standard UNM template.